Hello everybody, Ashes101 here, and a very warm welcome to another episode from the KrankyKraft server. Right, blue base and the attached room are all finished up, just apart from technically the outsides of the creeper doors here. I've not done the other sides of those, but that's alright, we'll come back to that. I'm keen to move on. And also apart from, it's not finished at all, is it? No, it is, but just apart from the, I've not got any mossy or cracked brick left, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. I've got like the other bases and stuff like that, they still need them, so I'm going to wait until I get to a convenient stopping point really, when towards probably all the rooms are decorated or being worked on or finished or whatever. And I'll probably just do a big run to the stronghold. Maybe draft a couple of the other guys in to help, I guess. And just grab a load and just go through everything that's not been done, just putting them in. But apart from that, so let me run you through everything. So there's quite a few new aspects to the room. First of all, the creeper doors, we've seen those before. We've just got a standard one on this side. Again, like I say, we've not got the outside bit of it done, but I'll come back to that. This side is had to do the wiring a little bit differently because occasionally get stuck in them. I think that's my British lag. We had to change it a little bit because of this staircase here. They've had to be an extra block away. Normally it's the creeper door, a 1 block gap, and then the pressure plates would be there. But obviously this is half slabbed here, so it couldn't really be done. So what I've done was I had to mess around a little bit because the wiring was interfering with these redstone lamps. So what I've done is these now are lit up by a lever on the other side of this block, just outside there. They're switched on. That powers this block, which powers the lamp, which is handy. And that's not interfered with by the pressure plate, as you can see there. So that works nicely, and then the wiring just had to be lowered and just brought round, just like in and along instead of out and in, pretty much. But apart from that, it's just normal redstone wire, nothing too fancy going on. It's 1 block further away, but it's still fine. It still gives you time to get in. Where's that bendy man? I heard him. Hopefully he's on the ceiling. I'm not equipped to deal with one of those. Let's see what is up next. Up here, I said I was going to bring that up slightly, if you recall, just so it wasn't going into a flat ceiling. So I've got kind of almost circular sort of idea there, just going up, and it's probably easier seen from over here, to be honest. There we go. So it just goes up a little bit there, and then that carries on up into it, just to add some height, add some interest. On the other half of the ceiling, I've got... Oh, I'm doing that silly laggy run again. On the other half of the ceiling, we've got that raised up. And I've got this design here, which, if you can tell, is meant to be like a skull, but just a subtle one. I tried a couple of other designs, like more obvious ones that were using these kind of slabs and this sort of thing. Ones with eyes, either recessed or jutting out, and they all looked really cartoony and dumb, to be honest. And I just got it to this point in the process of going from one design to another, and I just happened to look up and I thought, you know what, actually a subtle thing like that is probably better, so I've just left it as that, and I think it works nicely. It uses light here for the texture as much as anything. You know, obviously it's just bricks and bricks there, but the light, the shadow and the light around there gives it the interest, and that's the same thing I've tried to do on the walls here. So if we have a look on the walls, that's a good example here, nice and close up, you can see these archways that I've put in along the top half of the room all the way around, using again all the same materials. I didn't want to use too many other materials because this is obviously the blue base room, so the lapis, that's the colour splash for the room, that's your colour interest, but I needed to keep interest in the rest of the room as well, if you know what I mean. You know, it was a big room, it was very boxy and plain before I attacked the ceilings and walls. So what I've tried to do here, again, just using all the same materials, stone materials only, with a couple of rail highlights. But I've tried to use light as my texture, really. Light and shadow adds quite a lot of texture to the wall, as you can see if we look along it there. We've got a little gap in there with stairs, and then the lapis blocks alternating with stone behind the rails here. That mirrors what I did over in the emerald room, if you remember that one. So just keeps a little bit of consistency throughout. And that's basically it, I think, really. This entrance here, again, decided not to go with the creeper door, because this half of the room is not a base, it's just part of the same room that a base is in, so it doesn't get a creeper door. It just gets, I've used the same design as I did again over in the emerald room, just for a bit of consistency. And I think that's about it. That's all to show you there, really. So that's another room down, another base down. And we're going to head over today, and we are going to finish off, hopefully, another room, which is through here, and this is actually Elf's room that we're heading for. And here it is. If you haven't seen his latest episode, I think it was only yesterday it went up, might have been the day before, but if you haven't seen it, you should have done. What are you playing at? You should be subscribed to him. You should be watching all of his videos. He's a cranky crafter. So there you go. You've been told. But just in case you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, and you're seeing this for the first time here, he calls this a labyrinth within a labyrinth. And obviously, I think the name's pretty self-explanatory. It's just like a little maze within this room itself. And it's very nicely done. I've got to say, it's very nicely done. It's not overly complex. It's not ridiculously annoying. The rails give you good sight all the way around the room still, so you can see kind of where you want to be going and everything. That's really good. And I think what I like about the design most of all is the way he's got the cobble pillars here with the rails. Obviously, they're not a full block, so the rail doesn't attach to that. That leaves a gap actually big enough for you to walk through. Now, what I like about that is that if you was in this room, say you're getting chased, or you might have grabbed something from over blue base, or you might have white base. Sorry, you might have been attacking that blue white base. Blue, it's not blue, it's white. So you might have been attacking this, for example, and then a few guys come out of here, and you think, oh crap, better get away. Like that Enderman just did. I didn't make that noise. So you're running through, obviously panic stations, you're whizzing about like this, everything's happening very fast. You're going to be running along the main corridors here so you don't get caught up on anything. And then that works just beautifully like that. You're just trying to avoid line of sights from people attacking you and things like that. But in the ordinary course of things, say if I'm a white player and I've just spawned in white base and I'm coming up this way along the right flank, and I just want to get back to the action, so there's nothing going on in this room, all the action, it's over towards green base over there maybe, or I'm just running up and I want to get to that reward chest point over there. Well, if that's the case, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So I've come up from white base here, and if I want to get down to green base there, get back into the action, you can go straight through these. If you're not being derpy, you can do it at a sprint as well, and you're pretty much straight through. You don't get thrown too far out of your way. All you have to do is dink across a couple of blocks more than you might normally have to. There's the stairway right there, so you just have to go like across a couple of blocks in that direction, angled, and then through again. So it doesn't slow you down, it doesn't mess up the balance of the room as well, which I think is just great. So well done, Elf. And another room designed and done, so that's really nice. The only thing is though, you might notice like the walls here are just plain and stuff like that. Well, in the end of his episode, he did make a little call out, said someone like BDA or Ashes might want to come in here and help me out by doing some of the aesthetics, prettifying it a little bit. I think he worded it a bit more eloquently than that. But you get what I'm talking about. He said, he's good with the technical stuff, the functional stuff, which is very true. He is. He's like our own little Etho, I think. But he's not so keen on doing the aesthetic stuff and things like that. So I was like, that's fine, that's alright, I'll take it upon myself, because if you've seen BDA's latest episode where he explains what he'll be doing regarding the exterior vista, then I think you would probably agree with me that he has got quite enough on his plate already. So I'll take this upon myself just to come in here and finish off Elf's room for him. Hopefully not offending him along the way. I'm going to have to make a couple of slight adjustments, I think, looking around, just to do with the colour coordination here. But apart from that, I think I'll pretty much just be bringing it in line with the style that we've used in the other rooms and stuff like that. We're going to struggle to fit in the building within this episode, really, so I think what I'm going to do is probably just cut it here. I'll go and gather some materials and things like that. There's a couple of chests down here. Let's see what we've got going on. All very useful. No, crap. And oh hello. Oh hello. Right, good amount of redstone and crap apart from that. Elf, I don't know whether you intend this or not, but I'm going to consider that a donation to the labyrinth. And I'll tell you for why. I will tell you for why, Elf. Because yesterday I was in a bit of a rush, to be fair, because I was just trying to... basically, I had to go up to the baby clinic with my son. It was his weigh day, and I was rushing about a little bit and stuff like that. And I thought, I was thinking to myself, I was completely out of redstone lamps and glowstone. I've used all the glowstone I had at my base. I've used all the glowstone that I can sort of see from my nether hub bit, my station, and down where all the quartz I went to get was. I've kind of stripped out already the glowstone from a short distance around there, and so it's a bit of a trek if I want to go and find any more glowstone and everything like that. And I was thinking, oh man, I don't want to spend 3 days, going hunting for glowstone. But I thought, I'll do a little bit of that. Just in a little bit of downtime I had. So I went to the nether, and I did find a lump of glowstone, and I enderpearled towards it, and I promptly fell short, and it went to the bottom of a rather deep pool of lava. Which, you can imagine my surprise. So, that was not good. That was really not good. Utter panic. But what it's like when you're underwater in lava, under lava, however you want to say it. You can't even tell which way you're facing. It's just red. So all you can do is just hold space and just pray that you hit the surface or whatever, because I didn't even know what direction. I kept my cool enough for a couple of seconds, because I was wearing the brimstone armour, which is all fire protection, remember. That bought me precious seconds. And I did have ender pearls on my bar, of course, because that's how I got in that mess. So I did have the presence of mind to select them and try and ender pearl out of it, but I didn't know what direction to go in. I didn't know where the coast was. Anyway, I'm down to about 2 hearts, I think, and I just bobbed my head above the surface, saw land, and I was like, bang, straight away. Actually died in the end, I believe, from fall damage. It came up with, but it knew I was damaged. I got that message, was doomed to fall. So that's how I died in the end. It was something to do with the fall damage from the ender pearling, I think, got me in the end. But I was going to die, definitely. I was going to burn up regardless. But the bad news was I lost some stuff. I landed kind of right 2 blocks, if that's the lava. I landed 2 blocks away from the lava. So the bad news was I lost some stuff. The good news was I saved most things. I lost all of the brimstone armour except for the boots, which are back at base. These are my feather falling boots here. Only the boots survived, but that's not much of a big deal, because they were only fire protection 4, and I can get that again easily enough. So the brimstone armour needs reforging. Cotton Fondler the second survived. I was so happy about that. The spade, lost the spade, so I went and made a new one. This was my first. I just did a level 30 enchant because I couldn't find any efficiency books at the funnel or anything. So first level 30 enchant, got that, which was alright. I actually don't want the fortune. All that does is make it more expensive to repair, but never mind, you know. Efficiency 4 and breaking 3 is exactly what I wanted. That's what I had before, and I got that on the first enchant, so I'll stick with that. That's alright. Saved the sword. Sword. It's not my favourite sword in the world, this, which I think is why I've never bothered to name it. I want a loot in 3, really, but whatever. Save the bow, the flame bow, power 5 bow. Save that. Chuffed. Save the watch. You know, so really the only thing I lost, really, I think, was the spade, 3 bits of brimstone armor, and some assorted odds and ends. So that was a pretty good result in the end, actually, considering what I did to myself. But the end of this long-winded story is that obviously after that I was in no fit state or mood to go looking for glowstone in the nether, upon which I remembered Elf's episode from 2 or 3 weeks back, where I was like, of course, he made a witch farm. I will go and I can just farm glowstone dust. I had to take baby to the baby clinic, so I was going to be gone for a couple of hours. So I ran over there, witch farm, got down to the setup he's got there, found that easily enough. And then I wasn't sure whether it was safe or not because there was some caves and a mine shaft very close by, so I just walled myself in and AFK'd for a good couple of hours while I went out with the baby. Came back, had a look in the glowstone. He's got a nice little setup where it filters all the different items in separate chests, which is really cool. Had a look in the glowstone one, not a single piece of glowstone had come down in the 2 hours I was left. Went upstairs to realise it was deactivated. And there was no sign saying it was deactivated. So I wasn't very impressed. So that's the story. For that reason, I'm going to consider that glowstone right there a donation towards the labyrinth. Thank you very much, Elf. Your generosity is much appreciated. Alright. So anyway, alright, I'll cut it here and I'll see what I can do in that room. And either in 10 minutes my time or 10 hours, who knows how the day is going to go. I will be back though to show you hopefully the completed room. See you shortly. Well, what do you know, I must be psychic. It's been almost exactly 10 hours since I recorded that last segment. Not been working on the place for that whole time. There was other things in between there, like food and dealing with a baby and things like that. But anyway, we're back, and yeah, I've hopefully decorated this room and area to Elf's satisfaction. So I'll preface this by saying, Elf, you know, hopefully you're not offended by what I've done here, and hopefully you like it. If you don't, feel free to come back in and go over it again, but just obviously acting on your request. So let's see, starting down here, this was pretty much where the decoration finished beforehand. The stuff was there, this was just plain, so I've just carried on this pattern through up there. I've just put in, we had a little flat segment here that needed a little bit of lighting, so we just put in a little pattern there with some use some stairs there to create some lines that don't make you go down or anything. You just won't run straight over those. Coming up here, if we look backwards, I've done a little design here. We've got just some cobble rails. I don't know, what do you call them? Cobble fences? Cobble rails? Whatever. Some cobble stuff there that just follows that that line up there. And I've got a little design up there, I think you can see, where I've done, I've figured out with a couple of stairs used there and a couple of redstone lamps behind. Don't you think that looks like an eye? with, like, you see the rounded sort of semicircle there and the little dot there with the pupil. Kind of expensive. That's 4 redstone lamps had to be used to make that. But I think it actually looks pretty cool. And then we got the rails here is kind of like a hockey mask sort of face of doom, you know. So it's just a subtle little, you know, just for people as they're running around here, they're just all of a sudden da 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 bum bum da 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 bum bum da 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 bum bum da da da. No, I won't. That's hurting my eyes anyway. I messed around. I wanted to put a gargoyle up there. Like, you know, kind of like coming out of the wall into this area here. But, jeez, I spent about 2 hours messing around and I could not get anything that didn't look completely stupid. So we ended up with that. Anyway, coming along here, along the walls, I've just carried on. See this pattern here? Obviously, we only had a 2 high gap here, so it's just basically stair and stair. But it keeps the same kind of theme as elsewhere, so I just ran that around. On the floor and the ceiling, I just replaced the brick half slabs with full slabs, just to add a little bit of contrast between this floor bit and the raised sections. That's basically it. Pretty straightforward stuff. I messed around with these. We had, obviously, these were all coloured in here before, but the idea of using the coloured blocks is to designate the fact that you're heading towards a certain base of that colour. So where they're being used in rooms like this, the idea is generally to hint to the player what direction to go in. So obviously when they were being used across the whole room, it didn't really give a direction to the player. So what I've done is I've just taken them out over here and just replaced them with full slabs. So now we just have the quartz being used over this side of the room, and that kind of tells you that this exit is the one to go for. And then obviously once you get over here, you got these leading you down to white base down there. So that's the only change there. Apart from that, it was just a little bit of adding in some little detail touches here, some transitions between this room and the next. Same thing basically over here. We head around to there, we've got same thing over there, just again a little transition up until this room, which is one of the last remaining ones which hasn't been started on yet, apart from obviously we have a reward chest location in here, but that's about it. So Elf, there you go, as requested, some help with the you can't get through that one with the stair block there. Is that a problem? No, I don't think that's a problem. You can get through there easily enough. Yeah, that stops you taking too much for a shortcut. Yeah, that was completely on purpose. So yeah, anyway, Elf, yeah, as requested, help with the aesthetics for this room. Hope you like it. If you don't, you know, feel free to abuse me and nom, and yeah, and redo it all yourself. That's absolutely fine. I won't be offended. So yeah, I think that'll just about wrap it up for this episode. Let's see, there was a couple of miscellaneous bits and bobs I wanted to tell you. Let's see. First of all, amusing fact: the back of my chair fell off, and I fell on my ass. So there we go. Had to go and get a new one. But the good news was, I went to this nice discount warehouse place, and got one for 36 quid. Computer chair with arms, padded arms, which my old one didn't have. So yeah, that's alright, and it still reclines. I'm leaning back right now, very happy with that. And what else was what was the other thing? Oh yeah, my axe. I lost my axe in the lava. You know, when I was saying about before I died in the lava, I just realised before I lost my damn axe, which is actually really annoying because it wasn't the best axe in the world, but it was a diamond axe, and you know, I just have a thing about spending 3 diamonds on an axe, and so that's actually annoyed me again now. But anyway. Other than that, everything is normal. There's a bat in here somewhere, not sure where, but yes, thank you. That'll wrap it up. So, as always, I've been Ashes101. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you. This is a full 360 today, isn't it? Next time.